Howdy, hey. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So I'm trying something new. I'm just gonna watch some of the greatest movies I've ever watched, and kind of talk about things that I really like about them, or different spots. What makes conversation? I don't know. I'm just gonna comment as I go through the movie, cut it all together, put it in a video. So we're gonna go over. We're gonna do all the Lord of the Rings, the extended versions, of course, because they're the best, and I'll cut them down smaller pieces. Depending on how this first movie goes, I might just do a first part and a second part. We'll really see. We'll figure it out. But for now, just gonna start. Just gonna keep going. Just gonna get on getting. Wearing my Lord of the Rings shirt. Got my popcorn here. I'm ready to go, baby.
For none now live who remember it.
This music, so good, so good.
8 rings. 3 were given to the elves, immortal, wisest, and fairest of all beings. 7 to the dwarf lords.
Have you guys seen that meme? It's like the dwells. It's the elves. You know the meme of Obama like giving himself the medal. Someone made a meme of that with the elves, where elves the fairest and wisest of all people, but it's Galadriel saying that, so it's like, what gives you the right? I mean, come on. Just thought it was funny.
1 ring to rule them all. One by one.
I just gotta put it in perspective
3
here.
lads.
Sauron, I mean, he isn't a god, but he's near a god level. Put all of his power into a ring that a little hobbit man carried for months on end without giving into temptation. Like, that's just incredible. It's just the power of, like, it's just someone with such a pure heart fighting with such a strong willpower. Anyway, sorry. Frodo's just awesome. That's all I gotta say. I know I'm pausing it a lot at the beginning here, but there's just a lot to talk about. Like, this battle that you just saw, which seems like just like your standard CGI battle nowadays, they had to create the software to be able to run a battle that looked this good at the time. And honestly, if you hold it up to other battles, like CGI battles going on today, it's fantastic. And the fact that they had to create this to make it look this realistic, and it does look realistic, it's just wild. It's awesome. Back in 2000.
Up his father's sword.
If you're watching Rings of Power, that's that guy right there. Sorry, it's screeching really loud. That king right there is the young boy that wants to go to the mainland. He feels something calling him there. I don't know if you can hear me, but this is sick.
It abandoned Gollum. But something happened then the ring did not intend.
How does she know that's not what the ring intended? Part of me thinks that Galadriel thinks she's a lot cooler than she actually is, but maybe it's because I just didn't like her in Rings of Power. I don't know. I feel like she wasn't written very well in Rings of Power. But what does she know? I mean, she's only like centuries old. Anyway.
Strange creatures beyond count. Hobbits must seem of little importance, being neither renowned as great warriors.
What a way to introduce like a perfect world. It's not like, because in a lot of stories, the character arc, the world that you're living in, their character is living in, is flawed in some way, and that they need to. The reason they go on their journey is to break out of that and change their world. But Frodo and Sam and Merry and Pippin, the world they come from is perfect. Like, the Shire's main, like what Bilbo just said there, is they're after peace. So it's just amazing that what he was able to do. It's like, hey, these people live in an amazing world, but they're willing to sacrifice it for the greater good. It says something about humanity.
All days.
You're late.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
It's wonderful to see you, Gandalf.
Watching this for the umpteenth time. The first time it's fun, but I think watching it another time, knowing what they're both about to go through, and just seeing how happy they are in this moment, and seeing their relationship, it just warms the heart.
He's up to something.
Some fantastic foreshadowing. Like CGI and like practical, like CGI, like they can do this nowadays, but the fact of when they did this, imagine watching this in the theaters for the first time was mind-blowing. Just to see like a short little man like that, like the Hobbit, and a giant like Gandalf standing next to each other. It's just cool how they did it. Imagine being that actor and just having to, Ian McKellen, and having to make those faces to absolutely nothing. I love that. He's awesome.
Go on, Sam. Ask Rosie for a dance.
I think I'll just have another ale.
Oh, no, you don't. Go, hon.
That's a good friend right there. That's all I gotta say. Great friend.
Dragon of these paths for 1,000 years.
So cool. So cool. What a great introduction to two characters.
I think you've had that ring quite long enough.
You want it for yourself?
Bilbo Baggins! Do not take me for some conjurer of cheap tricks. I am not trying to rob you. I'm trying to help you.
All these movies are just about just really good friends. Just like really good homies. Man. Being there when you're not doing great. I love how it drops. It's so sick. It's like it doesn't bounce like a ring would. It's like so powerful. It's so heavy. It thuds. This is the whole reason Gandalf's here, is to, stop evil. Stop Sauron from returning.
You've only just arrived. I don't understand.
Neither do I.
What a sobering thing. This old wise wizard says he doesn't know what's going on. Like, imagine. This right here, sick, is a mix of practical effects, like miniatures, giant miniatures that people have made, and CGI. And it looks so good. Same with this. Oh, that's so cool.
It is precious to me, though I buy it with a great pain.
Oh my gosh. I just realized something. Big dummy dumb. So when Gandalf is talking to Bilbo and he's like, "The ring's been called that before, but not by you," or something along those lines, he's not talking about Gollum. He's talking about Isildur. Cool. The more you know.
Baggins is around here. They're all up in Hobbiton. That way.
A good villain is either understandable or pure evil.
Rain may fall and wind may blow, but there still be many miles to go. Sweet is the sound of the pouring rain, and the stream that flows from hill to plain. Better than rain or rippling brook. There's a Mongol beer inside this tub.
That's so good. That's wonderful.
Baggins. But that would lead them here. Take it, Gandalf. Take it.
No, Frodo.
You must take it.
You cannot offer me this ring.
I'm giving it to you.
Don't tempt me, Frodo. I dare not take it.
But it cannot stay in the Shire.
No. No, it can't.
What a call to adventure right there, man.
What must I do?
Is it safe? Never put it on.
The way they show the power of the ring, like every time it's touched, every time it's moved, there's like a deep bass. It's like you can feel it. So it's just like brilliant sound.
Very soon he will have summoned an army great enough to launch an assault upon Middle-earth.
You know this? How?
I have
And their
seen
eyebrows can't be real, dude.
A Palantir is
They're
a
wild.
dangerous tool, son. They are not all accounted for. The lost seeing stones.
He now knows that Sauron is watching.
Against the power of Mordor, there can be no victory. We must.
Hope versus despair right here. That's the whole movie. It's all three movies.
Tell me, friend, when did Saruman the Wise abandon reason for madness?
Damn, man. He freaking got him. Freaking got him good. That was like a brutal fight. I know it was like all magic, but man, it didn't feel like crunchy.
I don't know why he's so upset. It's only a couple of carrots.
And some cabbages. And those 3 bags of potatoes that we lifted last week. And then the mushrooms the week before.
Yes, Pippin. My point is, he's clearly overreacting.
I gotta say, when they're running through the fields and all of Pippin's comments, it just really sets up his character. It's fantastic. Man, this movie knows just when to stop the music and just let the silence hurt.
Black Rider was looking for something. Or someone. Frodo? Get down!
Character building for Merry. He's smart. He's really smart. They should definitely be dead. Already, this isn't as warm and welcoming as the Shire is. It's like, nah, it's alright. The set photos of this scene of them going up to the counter is actually really cool. It just looks really cool.
Once removed on his mother's side. And my
Pippin, you're a dummy. You're so dumb. This whole visual thing is super cool. Every time they do it, it's awesome. That's absolutely horrifying in the coolest way possible.
You draw far too much attention to yourself, Mr. Underhill.
So, Peter Jackson isn't isn't a huge fan of like this first. From what I've heard, this could totally be just made up. Doesn't like these first few scenes with Aragorn because he doesn't feel like they're true to his character, because they're still trying to figure out his character in the movies, because it's a little different than in the book. Which is funny because there was another actor for Aragorn that, from what I understand, like was part of like he was filmed as Aragorn for like the first 3/4 of the movie, or like most of the movie he was in, and then like they decided like, no, we can't work with him anymore, he's gone, and they brought Viggo Mortensen in, and then they redid it. So it's just interesting. But you can kind of tell looking at this first scene, he's a little more aggressive, and in the other, as he goes on, you can see that he's really more like soft and caring. So it's interesting to note, I guess. This is where we start to see the real Aragorn come out, the one that we all love. It's a shame that they don't have that in the original. It's perfect for setting up his character. In these movies, whenever Peter Jackson wants to show that things are truly terrible, it starts to rain, which is it's cool. It's really cool to see. They are truly terrifying in every way. From the sound effects that the armor makes, to the music that plays, to the way they look, it's just terrifying. You can really see Peter Jackson's horror influence on this. Music. Fantastic. So, like all these weapons being made, he got people from the Weta Workshop to actually come and like dress up as these orcs and make these weapons for real. So there's like hundreds and hundreds of actual weapons and things being made. Also, these birthing scenes is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen, and it just makes you really despise the orcs because they're so grody. Like, if you're going to show something that's pure evil, you want to make it truly awful. And Peter Jackson uses his horror background and really makes these things absolutely disgusting. Props to the prop department. Holy cow. So around the time of this movie, color grading wasn't a real thing because they would have to take the film and, like, bathe it in different chemicals, douse it in different chemicals. But they really wanted to do it for this movie, and I think it looks great. It's not overdone. It's just really well done.
Of Lord Elrond, you're beginning to mend.
Welcome to Rivendell.
It's just been standing there this whole time. It's a bit odd. So of course some leaves are CGI, but like during the meeting that they're about to have, and even like right now, like all the leaves falling, they had to gather real leaves, but they turned brown too quickly, so they had to paint the leaves, and then they just had crew members toss the leaves out over and over and over again to get the falling leaves looking right.
Bilbo. I'm not like you, Bilbo.
And Bilbo's story is one of adventure. Frodo's story is just sad. Just one rough thing after another. Boromir's a bamf, dude. I freaking love Boromir.
Aragorn. This is Isildur's heir. Gondor has no king. Gondor needs no king.
I think, just like in another movie, Boromir makes his decisions and chooses to be kind of an a-hole about it for the rest of forever, you know, like, and then, or he changes his mind right now, and he's like, okay, yeah, whatever. But you could see his internal, you could, not Aragorn's, you can see Boromir's internal struggle because of this fight that he's had with the forces of Mordor for so long, and he sees like this guy, just this random guy comes over out of nowhere and claims to be king. Of course, at first he's gonna say, "No, screw you! Like you have no right to just come in here and take everything that we've been working for." But then, as you see, he'll start to shift his perspective as he gains more respect for Aragorn, and it's just a wonderful character dynamic.
Not with 10,000 men could you do this. It is folly.
Have you heard nothing Lord Elrond has said? The ring must be destroyed.
And I suppose you think you're the one to do it.
And if we fail, what?
Legolas is kind of annoying, I'll just be honest. This moment right here is what's going to play through his head the first time he meets Gollum. That moment is going to play through his head over and over. This is part one. We'll see after I edit it all together if we'll put part two in there as well. But I'm tired and I'm going to go to bed. Anyway, good night.